Right, guys, welcome back to Football United TV. This is Gunners from All Corners, the show where we say Arsenal in multiple different accents. It's going to be a quick one tonight after the intro. All right, guys, welcome back. I'm here with two of my good friends, Anthony, my cousin, the
Guys,
Hulk from Bristol. How you doing, mate?
I'm not too bad, mate. I just hope Arsenal didn't get me angry because I'll go green.
You go green very often for a couple years now, mate. That's probably dangerous for the population around you.
Yeah,
Nitesh,
it
man,
is.
probably as tired as I am following the entire stream with Steven. There's 6 hours of great content, by the way, but nonetheless, 6 hours. We're both knackered here. We can see it in your face that you're not
No, actually,
you're not in
I
the
didn't
best
see.
shape now.
No, I didn't see the entire stream. I was actually at a birthday party. Had my 3 beers and now my 3 streams.
Okay, there you go. The tri combo. I like it. Right, guys. So we're gonna try to make this a really short one. Anthony doesn't have a lot of time. Perhaps Mel will be joining us soon, but we only have the three very clear topics, right? Like we have an exciting one coming next week, but this one is very strict, straightforward. We have one game, and we have two games to talk about in the future. So let's start with the past, shall we? The Watford game, a game that was probably supposed to be a little easier than we made it to be towards the end. But what were your guys' thoughts on that? Let's start with you, Anthony.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was. Well, basically, it had a lot of flair and a lot of passion in the game, didn't it? So the game was fast. The scoreline. I think, to be honest with you, I think obviously we scored the 3 goals. With Watford's second goal, I got to blame Ben White. I'm sorry, but you know me. I got to blame Ben White for that Watford second goal. The first one, I felt maybe Kieran Tierney made a slight mistake because I found out, like, obviously when Watford was attacking, Martinelli was in the left back position, which really obviously he's not going to defend that really well, is he? Because
Yeah.
we know what Martinelli's like. So in all fairness, I mean, he tried his best there. The ball got crossed in, and that was obviously when Watford scored their goal. Good goal. You couldn't fault that. So it was a very good goal. I mean, Odegaard scored for us the first goal. That was a good goal. Saka was quality goal as well. So in all fairness, I think there was at least there was what 4 good goals in that game. So
Yeah.
but over and all, uh, we won and we got the 3 points, and that was what we was we was worried about. So, but glad we got the points, mate.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Ben White's been doing well, but I agree that that wasn't his best game. And
Yeah,
G Mag that has been doing kind of poorly. I feel like he stepped up a little bit. As
yeah,
long as one of the two is having a solid game, we tend to be okay. I don't
yeah.
mean to say conceding twice to Watford is okay. Like that's not fine. If we
No,
defend
it's not.
like that against a big team, like we might be in trouble. But Nitesh, what are your impressions? Before that, Miss Mel, Miss Mel, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. I know how much you've been working today and for a couple of days now. So thank you for being here. How are you doing? Right. Afterwards, then Nitesh, give me your thoughts on the game.
Yeah,
We
well,
can't hear you, Mel.
yeah, she
Go ahead,
has
Nitesh. Go
audio
ahead.
issues.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying that with regards to the game, I thought we would sit back and we would let them get into the game, which actually happened. But I wasn't expecting the three goals. Yes, we scored thrice, and eventually, every time we did score, we were letting them into the game somehow. Like when we scored the first goal, then they got an equalizer, which was obviously a great goal. But it was one of Ramsdale's worst performances in an Arsenal shirt, and he should have had an assist or two that day for Watford. But overall, if you see that we did manage to hold on to the win, I think that is what matters at the end of the day. Uh, if because see, a lot of people will say, okay, that wasn't a great game, but if you see Unai Emery's entire career, he's been going with the same philosophy. You score three, stop them from scoring three, and win the game. So Arteta, this game was more like you can say the team was a bit more open under Arteta. Arteta wasn't happy with the way they were set up. He was trying to tell Thomas Partey and Zaka and all the other players to move in a certain way and do certain things. It didn't happen, but overall, as I said, we scored three, they scored two, we win. And these were three important points that we needed to take on our away trip, which we haven't been able to do that consistently over the years. So I think it is a good win in with regards to the fact that it was an away win. But the way that we got it, I think probably we would want to be more clinical and more aggressive in our play and win the game more comfortably rather than scrape through.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, can't dispute anything you said. Miss Mel, you with us now?
Can you hear me
My
say
friend.
thanks to everyone for supporting, Anthony for being in the chat, Nitish for hosting, Charlie for taking part in the panel. I really appreciate it. And enjoy those long hair because you're not going to enjoy it for long. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, going zero here. Going
But in
zero.
regards to the Watford game, I think I agree with Nitish saying that that was one of Ramsdale's worst performances. It was almost like he was playing like the Ramsdale from Sheffield. His footwork wasn't the greatest. His communication was a bit hasty at times. But most importantly, what I want to say is our left-hand side and that defensive back line against Watford was extremely poor. Not just Gabriel, but Ben White made a mistake that costed us a goal to concede, and it was an amazing goal, but I know we scored three amazing goals, but the Watford one stood out the most, and I think that's down for a goal of the season already as one of the nominations. But down that left-hand side, we are really weak, and I think Kieran Tierney has been very inconsistent, and I don't know whether it's a lack of confidence or what it is with his game, but he just hasn't been up to par this season, and I think that's really impacted us down that left-hand side. It was very easy for Watford to cut through down the left because that's where we are weak. Down that right-hand side, Bukayo Saka, the link-up play with him and Odegaard, it's like mustard. It's very incredible to watch. And Saka had a poor game against Wolves. I think he improved. He improved significantly against Watford and one of our key playmakers in that game, along with Martin Odegaard. The other player I want to see back into the squad for Leicester would be Emil Smith-Rowe for Martinelli. In that game against Watford, before Martinelli had scored, I was crying for Pepe to come on because I felt like we needed more impact off the bench. And then what happens? Martinelli scores a great goal, pre-assisted by Mikel Arteta. That's my manager. And Thomas Tuchel, no other manager would do that. So credits to Arteta for that. Perfect setup and great tapping goal. I'll take it. But the thing is, with games like this against Watford and teams like Aston Villa, we will play on soon, and even Newcastle, we need to take our chances. And I think, the amount of chances we're creating, we're not making that output. And Odegaard had a really good chance in the Watford game in that first half. He could have shot it, but he didn't try. And I think that comes with lack of confidence. I just want to see a lot more improvement from him in the finishing in the final third, and hopefully he can become that star player that we need.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You like in your in what you just said, you raised 2 points that are actually kind of interesting, and I would like to get all of your thoughts on that. I agree with the KT thing. We mentioned that on Steven's stream. I mentioned it a couple of times on the comments as well. KT is one of my favorite players. Probably my favorite player at Arsenal. Really, like him and G Mag. I love those two, but I feel like he's been the most overrated player this season because we like him so much because of his, like his personality really, because he's so tough. He doesn't stop. Fans love him, but and that's probably why they forget to point out that he's been like one of our most average players this season. Would you agree with that? Would you put him in the conversation for
I
most
do agree that
overrated
he's
player of the
been one of
season?
our most average players this season, and I
Yeah.
would even say below average because
Yeah.
compared to last season, I do think he's been very inconsistent. And it's not just teams like Watford; it's even the bigger teams like the likes of a Man City, and even when we played Brentford again at home. I think that comes down to a lot of impact from our left hand side, and I will give credit to our set piece coach. We have improved significantly on set pieces this season, especially if you look at the numbers, so
Yeah.
credits to that, but it still doesn't mean that our left hand side should be neglected, and that's one thing that we really need to improve on for the rest of the season, especially if we're trying to get into that top four spot. I think top four is ours to lose,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
we're being
I agree with
honest.
that. I agree with that. Let's go to Anthony next because he might need to go soon. So what's your thoughts on that on KT?
Yeah, he has been struggling of late, and obviously he's been when he plays a game. I feel like you can't give him, if you want to rate him out of 10, basically you couldn't give him any more, most probably than a 5 or 6 at the most. He hasn't really been performing really well. It's a shame, really, because he's been one of our best players. For the last couple of seasons, there was talk of him. With Arsenal fans wanting him to be a captain because
Yeah.
the way his style of play, the way how he moans at players, and tries and tells players what to do, where to go. He's an ideal for a captaincy, sort of thing. But he's been off the rails late. He hasn't really stepped up to the mark. But I just hope it's just a short spell he's going through. Do you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it doesn't last from, like, say, now. Obviously, because we got Leicester on Sunday, and then I believe is Liverpool Wednesday. So he's got to step up in the plate. For, well, from now to the end of the season, basically, in my book. So I do agree with what Miss Noel was saying there. So
Awesome. Awesome. What about you, Nitesh?
Yeah, I think Tierney is kind of tired because the reason being is at the start of the season he wasn't playing. Nuno Tavares was getting some games. He's come back into the team. For the first time, I haven't seen him injured like in around 10, 12 odd games.
Yeah.
So he's not getting that break that he always keeps getting because of injuries. The other thing is, I am not sure he's even fully fit because at times he, I get the feeling now that he's playing games because he does not want to be dropped again. Because God knows when he'll be back in the team if Nuno Tavares can produce some of that form that he had at the start of the season. So I get the feeling that Tierney is trying to pull himself and push himself to continue and play each and every game, even though not maybe at 100% fitness, because he's been known to miss around 30-35% games every season.
Yeah.
So for the first time, he's forced to play week in and week out, and he has to perform. Now the level of performances have gone down to an extent. Some games he's a great 8, some games he's now becoming a going for a 5, like in terms of ratings. But the thing is, I think he's under a lot of pressure so that his first team spot does not go away again. And a lot of Arsenal fans wanted him to be captain. I wanted him to first be consistent when he's not injured, because that was a major issue with him. And you can't have a captain that is sitting on the bench for 30% of the season. So finally, we are getting to see that before Tierney becomes the captain, even though he was given the armband once when Zaka didn't take it, he needs to first prove himself when he has to play right through the season without getting injured, that he can be consistent. And once he can do that, give him the armband. There are no real contenders. Once Lacazette is gone, once Zaka is probably gone, I don't think there'll be any real contenders in the team to challenge Tierney for the armband. But he needs to first showcase that he's fit, fully fit through a season, and he's consistent enough to be in the top. You can say Robertson, the likes of Robertson, and maybe even Chilwell, how they were playing before Chilwell got injured. In that category, season after season, if he can prove that, give him the armband. That is fine.
All right, but like Lacazette's leaving next season. I think no one could swallow Xhaka as being the captain.
Yeah.
Like he could get the armband every now and then when someone subbed off, sure, but like being the captain, I don't think fans would accept it. I don't think Arteta would be that crazy. So, if not Tierney in the beginning of next season, then who? Who do you guys?
Odegaard?
Partey or Odegaard?
Odegaard for me.
Odegaard. I'd like to see Odegaard as a captain.
I want to
Anthony's
see
not a fan of
Partey.
Odegaard.
Nitish, if it's Partey, I want to see a lot more from his game. I want to see the Partey who played against Brentford at home. What can he offer? I want to see the consistency, because the only thing that he lacks is the shooting. Other than that, the leadership he brings in that partnership with Xhaka, you can notice it when it's not there. Like when he's injured.
I know what you're saying, but to me, I like a player that has got a bit of passion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is not afraid to tell anybody, how it is, and this is what you got to be doing. And to be honest with you, over the last periods of the last Arsenal games I've been watching, the only player I've been seeing doing that, and okay, he is young, you don't really have this position, is Ramsdale. So
I thought you were going to say him.
yeah, because I mean, I know goalkeeper, there has been a few goalkeepers as the captaincy, but he's the one that likes to organise the defence. And this is the problem, is with our defence at the minute, because we shouldn't have really conceded those 2 goals against Watford. Okay, maybe one. But in all fairness, he's the one that's having to go at the defence in front of him. I mean, that's what really makes a good goalkeeper, is putting your trust in your flat back 4 in front of you as well. You've got to have trust in them. And he's the one that has a go at them and sort of like tries and give them that drive, like, do you know what I mean? So by saying, you've got, come on, lads, we've got to do this, keep it tight and all this and that. So for me, for the next captain, I think at the minute is going to be Ramsdale for me personally.
Okay.
But Charlie,
Yeah.
I gotta go because I gotta go on another stream now.
Of course.
What I'm gonna say is, people that's watching, if you haven't subscribed to Stephen Feet's channel, could you please subscribe to the channel and put a like and a comment? And if you can you just make a donation? It's going to a good cause. So, if you could do that, that'd be spot on.
Do like and subscribe to this channel as well. But yeah,
do
absolutely.
like subscribe to this channel as well. Yeah, because it's my cousin. He's doing a good job.
Yes,
so
yes, sir.
All right.
Love you, mate. Thank you for
I'll
being
see
here.
you all later. All right, you take it steady. Bye, Miss Mel. It's nice being on a stream with you again. I know it's short, but all right. I'll catch you next time. Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, guys. So, I don't think he should be next captain, but I just feel like G Mag should be in the conversation because he's one of our most consistent players, and
the other thing
he's an
I had
imposing
tweeted
figure
out,
as well.
Sorry, the other thing I had tweeted out was, if Saka has to be given an extension and the armband greed works for him, give him the armband and make him sign that extension.
Speaking of Saka, Nitish mentions, what Anthony mentioned before, the leadership and someone who's, telling the players, get in line, stay in check. Against Watford, I don't know if you guys saw, Saka was screaming at Cedric. I think it was in the second half. He was shouting at Cedric to get in your right position and stay put. And I think Saka really knows. Yeah, Saka really knows. Saka knows that this is my team. I am going to lead this team to top 4. And when was the last time we had players like that? We had the likes of Mustafi and Ozil who didn't even care. They just, as good as Ozil was to his game with the many assists, where was the leadership? And in these young players that we have now, we have that leadership. And, as much as we don't want to go into that Arteta conversation, give the man his flowers. Give him credit because he's put discipline into our squad.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Absolutely.
can go into that conversation. The only thing that is happening is Steven will pull out his hair.
Well, he's not here today, so if you want to go into it, go ahead. But I agree. Like I
and
think...
it's not long. It's not many times I agree with Nitish on everything. So
I think people love using Guendouzi and Saliba as arguments that Arteta is not good with young players, but I think that's foolish.
Yeah.
Like it's clear for anyone to see
Saliba
like
came
what.
out earlier in the week, Marley, and said like the way Arteta sent me on loan, it was to develop my character. He openly said that himself, and
Yeah.
they quoted it from him. So I think
And
sending him
Guendouzi's
out
a little butthole. Everyone knows that. He's a little butthole.
attitude issue. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's dude. Martinelli just he's going to the first Brazil team.
Brazilian team. So is
Martinelli, yeah,
GMAG. Yeah.
both GMAG and Martinelli. So,
Yes.
dude, look, they're all young players. Like pretty much everyone that's touched by Arteta has been doing better than we expect them to do.
And
To be
excelling
doing.
out of the Premier League,
Exactly.
getting an international call up. Not everyone gets that. So those kind of opportunities, you have to give credit to the foundations where it starts from.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, let's. Any of you want to raise another point about Arteta or anything? Because
No, I
I
was
want to
just
move. Yeah,
Yeah, I was just going to add that it was surely going to happen sooner or later because Brazil had two strikers, Firmino and Gabriel Jesus. Both got destroyed by their respective teams with regards to being a striker. So, but I am not still sure where Martinelli will be playing for Brazil. But because will he be playing as a winger or will they play him as a striker? If they develop him as a striker for us, well and good. I don't mind. If he's successful there, then Arsenal can reap the benefits of that
I
as
think
well.
they
I was gonna
already
say
have.
that.
I think they already have a striker role fulfilled. So I think it will be a winger.
Brazil in Brazil.
Yeah. Oh, is
I
it?
mean, right now, looking at the players called, the only competition he has is Richarlison, who I'm assuming is going to be starting as at number 9. But left wing, you have a lot of players there. You have Vini Jr., you have Neymar.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of competition. I see him being used as a striker. I hope he gets some minutes. I don't see him starting in any of the games, even though Brazil's already qualified. So maybe he'll get his chance. But I don't know. I'm not a fan of Chi-Chi's, but I think I want to see him as a striker. I think that could be really cool, and Arsenal could benefit from. I don't see him getting a lot of minutes at left wing. I really don't. Even though Neymar has been doing nothing to deserve this call up, absolutely
Yeah,
nothing.
especially you saw against the PSG game. I mean, that round of 16 match, that whole super team they tried to build with the manager Pochettino, I just think it didn't work out.
Yeah.
There's no chemistry between the team and the output of the manager.
Yeah. No, that too, but individually, Neymar's been.
Yeah.
Are you going to talk about the links to Arsenal?
What links?
Neymar.
Neymar.
Is there such a thing? Please tell
haven't
me that's
heard.
not true.
No, there aren't any real links, but the thing is that PSG is trying to get rid of him. So a lot of people were like, he's Brazilian, he's a quality player, he's not that washed up. PSG is not his place to be. Maybe he can come to an Arsenal and perform, even though he'll probably buy half of London with the money that we give him, or he expects us to give him. But
Dude, look at his recent injury record. Can you imagine him in the Premier League?
Oh my
He's gonna
gosh.
get his ass kicked.
And he takes like a month off when it's his sister's birthday, like near
Yes, in February and March. He's always injured.
I don't think
for
he's
that.
the type of player who will adjust to the Premier League. On the meantime, for a striker, Jonathan David, Nitish, I think he's a good player at Lille. I know he's young and he still has a lot to prove, but I think he'll work well in the squad that we have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
said it
especially
in the
the-
stream. I
especially
said there's
the-
probably Canadian bias there, but I back you
Yeah,
because he's a
especially
great player.
especially the plan that Arteta is doing with the youth. So possibly, Jonathan David, or if we're still linked to Alexander Isak, who knows?
yeah, with regards to Neymar, I personally think he's a good ball carrier. We have enough ball carriers. That is one thing. He's not going to play as a striker again. He's not a striker. And at PSG, he's getting overshadowed by Mbappe and Messi now. So I think
Yeah.
that is one of the reasons he left Barca in the first place, not to be in Messi's shadow, and he wanted to move out. But when he went to PSG, he went in under Mbappe's shadow. So I think that is one problem that he wants to resolve now. At Arsenal currently, he has to take a massive pay cut first, if that has to ever happen. But the other thing is, can he shine? Yes, he can, but he's 30. So again, what will we pay him and what will he do? I don't know. But I think one thing is there with Pepe going out. I think if Pepe is going out at the end of the season or probably next Jan, I think there will be one winger coming in as well.
Okay, so here's something controversial. I don't want Pepe to leave. I want him to stay in this team, not as a starting player, but as a squad player, as an impact off the bench type of tactical substitution. I think the cameo appearances he's gotten recently, since the last couple of games, I think he's making an impact into the team. He's trying to raise the tempo and trying to get the goal output. I know it's the goal output that we're lacking, and that 72 million we paid for him clearly was a robbery. There was a lot of shady stuff that happened with that, let's be honest, with the Ralstonelli and potential money laundering, but that's a different story. But I want to see Pepe. I know he's at the bottom of the pecking order because clearly some games you see Eddie Nketiah, a championship level player at best, is starting ahead of him oftentimes. But I think Pepe deserves a good run of output, and I don't think he should be sold. I think he can be a squad player in our team. But it's clear to me that he's probably, on the transfer list out.
I don't think that's controversial at all. I think a lot of people would agree with you, and so do I. By the way, I want him to stay next season. I feel like if Arsenal starts switching our ambitions to titles, because that's not our ambitions now, really.
Yeah.
When we start switching to titles, I feel like he probably needs to go because out of the four wingers we have, he's the one I'm okay with going, right? Like I don't want to lose ESR, Martinelli, or Saka. And I think Nitesh was the one that said this a while ago. I might be wrong, but if we want to challenge for titles 1 or 2 years from now, we can't have Saka, ESR, or Martinelli being our leadership going forward, right? Like we need someone with a little more star power, seniorship, exactly. Someone a little, because you're counting on 21-year-olds. So
that sounds quite smart, but I didn't say it.
Okay. That's probably why I thought it was you. It was another smart person.
Because come on, Cesc Fabregas was captain when he was 19. So I'm not really worried about these guys' ages. Look at the way they have become mature players. No one expected them to be mature enough. And Odegaard is Norway's captain. So I am not at all concerned about the captainship thing.
I'm not putting Odegaard in the same category here. Okay. He's a little older, and he started playing when he was like 4.
Okay, here's something. Hear me out. Odegaard is friends with someone from Norway who's on the transfer list this summer. Do you guys think it can happen? Erling Haaland to Arsenal. What would the headlines be?
There's a higher possibility of us signing Neymar than signing Haaland.
You should have said Gnabry. I would have accepted it.
There's a higher possibility of Arsenal signing me than Haaland.
I know, I'm just joking around, but I think Haaland will end up. I think Haaland would end up at Man City if we're being honest.
Probably. Yeah. I want him to go to Spain because I don't want him in the Premier League.
Yeah. Gnabry is a very realistic one, so I'm not going to put it in this category. Gnabry can happen 80 to 90%. It can happen. He wants to come back to Premier League football. He wants Arsenal. The only thing is whether he gets another bigger club than Arsenal.
But we never gave him a proper chance the first time we signed him. I think it's just nostalgia now.
Yeah, see, I don't rate him that highly still. He had a good season with Bayern, but look at the Bayern team in that season. They dominated everyone. And even a guy like Thomas Muller, who was washed up a few years ago, has been able to revive his career at Bayern now. So I think it's personally a team thing. They have a very solid team. Manager change, manager in, out, doesn't bother them. They have so many young talents and quality players in the squad. The culture is very good at the club, which is something that Arsenal is developing.
Yeah,
so I think
that.
Yeah, I think Gnabry signing is very realistic. It may even happen, but do I want it? I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't want Gnabry over Pepe if that means we're losing money on the deal, and I feel like that's what will happen. Even though I think Gnabry is running closer to running out of contract at Bayern, so maybe that helps. But if we sell Pepe for less than what we buy Gnabry for, I'm not okay with that. But I think he's a slightly better player, though.
Just do a swap deal.
The one thing I disagree with you is that I feel like he's had most of his Bayern seasons were good seasons. He's had one great season. Not I can't say he was phenomenal throughout.
Yeah. Agreed on that one great season part, and that is when they won the Champions League.
Yeah.
The Bundesliga, who's going to beat Bayern? they will be 20 points below, like they'll be 20 points below the top team, and they will still go on and win the Bundesliga title. So the Bundesliga doesn't count for them unless someone like a Pochettino comes to Bayern and disrupts them completely or something like that. But at the end of the day, I think Gnabry, coming back to the Premier League, if another club apart from Arsenal signs him, like a Manchester United, I'm just giving examples, Manchester United, Spurs, or maybe even say even maybe a Liverpool, so he may not have the same kind of success that he may have at a Bayern. Liverpool maybe to an extent, yes, because of the overlapping fullbacks. But I think if he goes to a Manchester United or a Tottenham or even a Leicester City, I think Gnabry will struggle there. Even Arsenal, I don't get the feeling because we don't have that kind of overlapping fullbacks. If you've seen, Tierney does some part of it, but Tomiyasu and Cedric not that great at it. So I think Gnabry coming to Arsenal will still struggle with our system. If he goes to a very free-flowing one like a Liverpool or Manchester City, these two are the teams that where he can easily succeed and fit into, and plus the Pep factor. So I think if he comes to Arsenal, I will back him surely, like I backed all my players. But will I want him? Do I want him? I don't want him.
See, you have pros and cons of having geniuses like Nitesh streaming with you. Like you go with theories, you go with like little examples. He'll explain the science behind it. He'll go through it. You say Santa Claus should start at DM for Arsenal. He's gonna explain why Santa Claus wouldn't be a good choice for DM for Arsenal.
We have someone slower than Santa Claus right now as DM.
Wow.
That's a good point. It's a good point, guys. Let's. This has been brilliant. Let's move on to previewing the Leicester game. What are you guys expecting from that game? I feel like we've been doing good against them recently. Vardy's someone that likes scoring against us, but he's not going to be playing, right? So that
Yeah.
raises my confidence for sure. And I like to see the Madison Odegaard matchup because I feel like a lot of people wanted Madison over Odegaard. I was not one of those guys, but most people wanted him over Odegaard, and I feel like Odegaard's having a better season, and he cost literally like less than half what Madison would cost.
I honestly, I think Nitish remembers this on the timeline. When it was transfer window, I was confident that we were gonna get James Madison, and I really was all out, heart blazing out for Madison. And right now, I'm biting my tongue, and I'm so grateful. We paid only 30 something million for Odegaard, and I think he's been a gem of a
30.
signing. I think for me, that's up there for signing of the season so far. Yeah, along with Ramsdale.
Yeah.
When I saw Madison's price, I was like, I don't want him.
It was 70 to
like-
80 million, right? Plus
Yeah.
add-ons.
Yeah, and for
It's too
what?
much.
The guy was injured. He keeps getting injured. He wasn't even in the England squad for the Euros because of injury problems and form, in and out of form.
Yeah.
So with all those things coming into play, if Leicester wanted to sell him, they could sell him to Manchester City if they were willing to pay 100 million for him.
Pick up Luca.
But at the end of the day, I think I was quite happy with the Odegaard signing. The only one signing, the one where I can probably say that it didn't go my way is the Ramsdale one. But I'm still waiting for him to perform long term, because this is one thing that is very important. You do it one season, everyone starts saying that you are the best player that we have in that position. But then what happens the next season? Like the best example, looking at Tierney's example. So
Yeah.
I still want to see Ramsdale perform consistently from now until maybe his contract expires and he extends, and then again, because we saw it with Leno as well. First season, second season, brilliant goalkeeper. What happened after that? Went downhill. So I don't want Ramsdale to be another Leno. And the other thing is, he should not go
point.
back to Bournemouth. He should not go back to Bournemouth. He went to Bournemouth, and this Watford game was bad as hell.
I felt like that was okay. It's a championship game. Like I like that he cultivates the relationship he builds with the fans. I'm okay
No,
with
I'm
that.
just
I didn't
kidding,
mind it.
But he went to Bournemouth and started playing as the keeper that was at Bournemouth.
Right,
But-
but the game itself, though, what are you guys expecting to see?
Okay, so one thing I want to say first off is I'm really glad that Vardy isn't playing. You guys know he loves a jammy goal up against us. I think Wesley Fofana is coming back from injury, so he's probably going to be on the bench, if anything. But one thing I will say is this game is crucial for our build up into that Liverpool game at home. And I think this game, for the next 3 games that we have in hand, especially, Aston Villa now getting back into form, this game is all or nothing and crucial to us on how well we perform in the next upcoming games after that. What will the impact be? Will we bounce back, or will we use the winning mentality, hopefully that win on Sunday, and thrive to that Liverpool game? Get that confidence that we need and take on that Anfield team like the likes of Man City at home. The only way that Man City game at home went against us was, you could say some poor officiating and Granit Xhaka obviously pulling down Bernardo Silva. Some of the things that happened in that game. Hopefully, this Leicester game, we get the result, we get the much needed 3 points. The one thing I want to express though on here is games in hand does not equate to points on the board. So whether we have games in hand, I want to see those points on the board. So we better win this fixture, and it comes down to taking every game as it comes. That's really how Arteta has said it, and Arteta has said that this has been like what's it called? Champions, like a final match every single game. That's how he's treating it with the team. So I want to see how well we do. And more importantly, what I'm concerned about is I want our defense to be solid, and I hope in training these players have been working on tidying up that defense, because against Watford, you saw how shaky our defense was at times, and you saw, Ramsdale didn't have the greatest of games.
Yeah.
So hopefully, in that Leicester game, we improve. We take down that build-up and we try to get them on the counter-attack. We tidy up on the left-hand side, and hopefully Smith Rowe is back into that squad. Tomiyasu was in training today, but I don't think he will be playing for the Leicester game. But to be fair, I'll give Cedric credit because he has been good. Sometimes he's a bit, backpassing and some foolish moments, but I think he's been good so far, the games that he has played, considering Tomiyasu is out. But I think Arteta will end up saving Tomiyasu for the Liverpool game at home.
We need to. The thought of Cedric playing against Mane is freaking scary.
Yeah, a player like Sadio Mane, he can't handle that.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Nitesh, well, I'll get back to the 3 games we have at hand because I want to quickly touch on them. But for now, what are your thoughts on the Leicester game, my man?
My first thought is about Cedric, and I feel Harvey Barnes is going to destroy him. And that is one thing that needs to be, if and this is an if Cedric is able to keep Harvey Barnes quiet, I think he should start against Liverpool if he is able to do that. And the other thing is, on the left hand side, I can see, like, I just looked into the lineup, they're playing Mark Albrighton as the right winger.
Oh wow.
So
Albrighton.
Yeah, so the thing is, if that is the case, Tierney better have a, you can say, if he has a good game, we should be destroying them on the left hand side. So the only concern will be Tielemans is generally plays behind Albrighton in the formation that I saw. That could be one thing, and Maddison to an extent. But I think we have a decent enough defense, and that is what has been seen across the last few games at least, that we can defend well when we need to. The other concern will be Ramsdale having a good game from the last one, because he needs to be on his toes, because these guys are great free kick takers as well. Maddison is there, Tielemans is there. If he makes an error, then that is a big problem for us, and his distribution will have to be on point, because without Vardy, I don't think they will try too many, you can say, quick attacks. Only one, what they will try to do is they will try to sit back a bit, and they will try to get in some of the players like Harvey Barnes into our, you can say, into our half and push for a goal. They will try to counter attack in a different way rather than
like a low block.
They will start with the low block and then try to push forward with the likes of Harvey Barnes, because I don't think Albrighton is that much of an attacking threat. With Jamie Vardy missing,
I think they would just rely on James, Daka, and Maddison.
No, I don't think Daka would be the guy who may start. Maybe Iheanacho may start. So that could also be a tactical change there, because Daka hasn't done that well so far. It's a big game, and it could actually break his confidence as well. But overall, if you see, Leicester has been shaky at the back. So They may start initially, as I said, with the low block, try to counter attack us with Harvey Barnes and taking on Cedric, while Cedric tries to push forward a bit. And at the end, what they may do is totally open up, like they have done in some of the games, and see which team scores more if they are one goal down. So overall, I think it will be a high-scoring game for both teams. Will get some goals. Maybe okay, we have to do the score prediction later on, so let's not get into that. But as I said, uh, it should end up being like maybe a 3 or 4 goal fest.
I think I'm ready to go there now. Actually, score predictions because we're going to move on to the Liverpool game, and I want to touch on the games we have at hand. Liverpool's one of them. Score prediction for this game, though.
2-1 to the Arsenal. Hopefully a win. Don't embarrass us in our own yard. The fans got to be the 12th man in the stadium. Whether you like the manager or not, just get behind the damn team. You haven't seen an Arsenal like this in recent years. And, we top 4 is ours to lose. So better get behind the team and support the lads.
Right. Care to venture a guess as to who's going to score at least one of the goals? I've been attempting that lately.
I'm going to say Martin Odegaard and my boy Bukayo Saka.
All right. Nitesh.
I think it will be either 3-1 or 4-1. Let me go with the 3-1 to Arsenal, and I think we can comfortably drive Brendan Rodgers to the airport if he wants to leave after that. And because I think he should have been sacked a couple of times at least this season. I don't know why he's still at Leicester. But anyways, getting into the scorers, I think one guy who's my pick for always scoring a goal is Gabriel. I think he'll score one, maybe set piece for us. The other two are, I think, it's going to be between Saka, Smith Rowe, and Odegaard. I don't think Martinelli comes central enough. So I think it's going to be one of those guys. So if I have to pick 3, it will be Gabriel. Let me go with Odegaard and Saka as well. And for Leicester, I think it will be a Maddison free kick. He'll just try to pinch us to an extent. Like you didn't sign me, so I just scored. But it's going to be a consolation goal for them.
I don't know what's going on. Sorry.
Right. So we're that got me confused too. Okay, so I'm going 2-0. I mean, it's a little bit of wishful thinking. I don't want us to concede anymore because we've been conceding for a couple of games, and I want our defense to look solid for when we're facing Liverpool, which is always it's always my bet for the game that we're going to concede the most. Like, I hate playing against Liverpool. I hate it. KT always had dreadful games against Mo Salah. He's the men's kryptonite, so I want us to be looking solid before that game, which is what we're going to be moving on to. Liverpool preview.
Yeah.
What are you guys thinking on that?
I'm nervous, and the reason I say I'm nervous is, are we going to set up the same way we set up for that Man City game, or are we going to capitulate and, the typical Arsenal against the top 6 team, buckle and crumble under pressure? What type of Arsenal is going to turn up? But this has to be a revenge game, because when we played Liverpool at Anfield, I was confident and I said 3-0, and you know what happened? We got trashed, absolutely annihilated, capitulated, and embarrassed. Right now we're gonna play at home, so we have that home advantage, and hopefully Tomiyasu is back, because Cedric against Sadio Mane is not gonna be a brilliant sight at all. And just pace-wise, Cedric cannot keep up with someone like Mane. I know Mane is sus sometimes with finishing, but pace-wise, Cedric is going to get pocketed easily. I'm nervous about the attack, the Liverpool attack, especially with the new signing of Luis Diaz. But even their defensive back line is completely solid with the likes of Andy Robertson. He's looking like a threat. Even Virgil van Dijk. And I'm nervous. I want us to set up well, and I want us to play the same way, similar style of play that we did against Man City at home. We didn't sit back and invite pressure on us. We tried to create chances and take advantage of the chances that we made. And that's the key point I want to see. No matter how many chances we create, I want to see those converted into goals if possible. And speaking of converting into goals, Marley, I want to see Lacazette get his shooting boots on. And if he's not able to play in that striker position, then take him off and play the likes of Martinelli up front.
I've
a
been
tactics
I've been
change
saying
needs
this
to
for a
happen.
while. Lacazette's a CM. He's a CM, and people don't realize it yet. I've been saying this for a while. He can't shoot. He can't shoot. Like my man cannot shoot anymore. Just like Aubameyang couldn't shoot anymore. It's really frustrating. Nitesh, what are your thoughts on the game and everything Mel said?
Yeah, I think personally I don't care, and I don't count this game like as a game that we are expected to win right now. If we win this game, I think we'll literally hand over Manchester City the Premier League title and ensure that we win, like we end up in the top 4. But we need to win the game for that, but which is like a far off thing. With regards to Melina's prediction, I don't know why she predicted 3-0 at Anfield. Like Arsenal winning 3-0 in Anfield
I
is
was
like
so confident, Nitish. You had no idea. I thought, you know what, we're gonna go into this game and we're gonna dominate, and you know, and I think it was like it took like 10 minutes or something, right, for them to get the first goal, and then I'm like, oh, well, this is crazy, and then full time came, and it's like, oh, well, this is different. But for this game, for if I had to give a score prediction just before Nitish finishes his point, what I wanted to say was if I have to give a score prediction, I'll go for a 1-0. I'll go for a 1-0 at best. At worst, get a draw and move on.
yeah, again, so I was also saying the same thing, that I don't think we need to look too much into this game. If we get something out of it, brilliant. That just adds to our season going from bad to way better, and even it makes it way better than just an average season, because we are already competing for the top 4 and getting something out of Liverpool at this point when they are looking strong as well. I think it's a decent shout. So, but if we don't get anything, I'm just going to look past the game and move on. And the other thing is, with regards to Van Dijk, I think he has COVID, and some of the other players in the camp have COVID as well. I'm not sure how fit he's going to be. But yeah, Trent and Robertson are two of the players that are very. One second. Trent and Robertson are the two players which are very, very crucial, that need to be kept quiet. And if that happens, then I think things will work out for us. With regards to Mane, he's not been in great form. Their midfield is still strong. Uh, Luis Diaz is a good shout. He's going to be a threat. On the other side, I think Salah again. Salah is having a great season, but he missed some great chances against Inter as well. He hit the post on either side, but Liverpool just needs a moment of magic. With regards to the score prediction, if it has to be an Arsenal win, I think it will at best be 2-1. But honestly, I don't see us winning this game. It will be like a drunk man's fantasy to win this game.
Yo, I can't believe you're still awake, mate. After that, what's up, my man? Well, he might still not be awake. But
Arteta in,
dude,
Arteta in. See,
Steven,
he is here. You just had to say the magic. You just had to say the magic words.
Shut up. Give me 2 minutes.
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Right. This has been an interesting stream. uh, I'm never confident against Liverpool. I always predict a defeat. I'm gonna predict a respectable defeat instead of a humiliating one. I think we're gonna lose like 2-0. I just like. I'm not saying it's a game we shouldn't look to win, right? Like I'm not saying it's not disappointing to lose to them. It's just that I can never bring myself to believe we're gonna win. Like KT before this season was what? Jesus, what?
Sorry, my camera ran out of charge. Sorry. I was using it for 6 hours.
No, yeah, it's absolutely okay. This has been the weirdest stream ever. Steven, mate, what? That's not a way to enter a stream, dude. You're gonna scare people away. How are you, my man?
Mate, you should be scared after me after 6 hours, man. I'm fucked.
Yeah, I bet you're knackered, mate. By the way, since you're both here, big up for that. Big up, big up, big up to you and to you, Mel.
Mel, it's Mel. It's Mel.
Absolute
It's Mel.
scenes. Like the people you got there, that was just fantastic. Like a bunch of people that I'm a fan of, you know. it's not like these guys, like I'm a huge fan of them, but like they became my friends before I became fans of theirs. These guys, like I look up to them. You know, you got Lee Judges, man. He's such a freaking legend.
Yeah,
That was
really
huge.
nice guy.
That was huge. Huge, huge, huge.
Graham,
Big up to you
and big
guys.
up to Graham and all that as well for like people from ATV coming and it's just
Yeah, it was really
mind-boggling.
fun. It was
I
really
was in
fun
shock.
watching. Sorry, it was really
I've got
fun
to thank
watching.
Mel for that. It's Mel. It's Mel, man. Sorry.
It was
Mel's
it
amazing.
it was really fun, Steven, watching all those people coming on and all those legends, and all you could say is, get rid of this manager.
No, the thing is, sorry, before we go on, continuing with the Liverpool game, all of those guests that came on, I think every single one said, we have to give credit to Arteta, we have to give credit to Arteta. And Steven, like, every 2 seconds kept saying, but top 4 is win trophies. But I want to win trophies. But he kept saying, like, what's it called, interjections when they said that. And I was like, yes, I'll take every bit of this Arteta prop.
Yeah, I could see like little by little with every comment I saw Steven dying inside a little bit.
Yeah.
No.
But anyway, Steven, what's your thoughts for the Liverpool game?
All I'm saying is the proof is in the pudding when he gets us challenging for a title. Then
All
he'll
right,
prove me
that's
wrong.
so you're gonna have to sit back for a while because it's gonna be some time before we get there. But my man, quickly, if you want to give us your thoughts on the Leicester game and then the Liverpool game as well, give us a combo of your thoughts for this
Leicester
coming
game
week of
should
football.
be. I feel confident we should win.
Prediction?
I said 3-1 in my prediction.
That's the same
Because-
prediction as Nitesh.
Yeah,
You
'cause
guys
I-
have been agreeing a lot with each other lately. This is awkward.
Yeah, it's
Go
because
ahead.
I'm gonna lull him into a false sense of security.
No, he's agreeing with me because he's turning from Arteta out to Arteta in. It's simple.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Go on.
But like I said, it is. Leicester's still suffering injuries. They can still pose a threat despite their injuries. But I feel that we should have the quality to overcome their problems, especially with the fact that the defensive problems they keep changing the defense every time, which means you can't just have a balanced defense every time that you keep changing it. In terms of the Liverpool game, we need Jesus.
And you're having my hair shaved.
Yes. I'm more
You're
looking
getting rid
forward
of
to-
the only solution we had.
During the midweek, I'm more looking forward to your getting shaved than actually us playing Liverpool. To be honest, I just wish I could fly to Brazil to do it myself.
I do too, mate. I do too. I wish I could fly to England to get a haircut like that. That'd be kind of cool.
But yeah, so this is where in 2 years' time he needs to pay for a hair transplant. He can't go back. He said, "Fuck you, Stephen."
Probably, yeah.
Or
Come on,
Becca's
there have been some really nice looking bold Brazilians in football as well.
They play well as well. They're good
Yeah,
players.
I bet you don't play well.
You could always try the Ronaldo look. The R9 look.
That would look beautiful in my head. That would look beautiful, right? You mean that one when he only had hair here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That was. I mean, he won us the World Cup, so I'm not gonna complain.
No, you
he
said
could have
all of it,
whatever
so it's
haircut he wanted.
No, you said all of it, so it's all coming off.
No, I'm shaving all of it. I'm shaving all of it. Shaving all of it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I don't want to keep just a little bit. That's gonna look even worse. Prediction
Anyway.
for the Liverpool game.
If I was going to be optimistic, 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. I said 2-0 Liverpool. That's me being optimistic about that game too.
I said 2-1, but not to
But that's-
Liverpool. Don't worry.
But this is the point. But I would be all the only thing. The reason I'm not optimistic is because I got a feeling he'll try and play the same way like he did at the Anfield. Play out the back, play the same way. Let's not play with two outlets. Why not? Put Martinelli and Saka as winglets. as wing outlets with pace. They play a high line for a reason. They expect to box us in and win the ball second ball every time, because they just expect us to lump it clear or just pass it in the middle of our own area and pass, and which is not as convincing as Liverpool's and not as good as Liverpool's, and they'll be able to cut out the passing lanes, right? Whereas if we played two outlets with balls over the top, you watch them travel back 5 yards, they'll immediately have to adjust their game plan. If we did that in the first 10-15 minutes, Klopp will be adjusting his game plan, right? And we'll actually give them something to worry about. And you never know, in those 15 minutes you can nick a goal by doing so. But
Steven, you should do 6-hour streams every day. You sound so smart right now.
no, I was saying this before I did the 6-hour streams, mate. So there you go. But
Mel, what was your prediction again? Because I forgot for the Liverpool game.
I said 1-0.
1-0
Yeah.
for Arsenal.
Yeah, hopefully.
Two, like that's optimism right there.
If we win, I will be the most shameless person ever. I will probably say we're gonna win the league with Arteta.
Steven, when you're optimistic, you actually have to predict your team winning. That's the whole point of being optimistic.
It's a rule.
No.
I'm breaking that rule.
No. The usual thing is we get battered. The optimistic thing is we don't get battered. Right?
For Liverpool, I have to agree with Steven. And I don't like agreeing with Steven, but I
But
have
they're
to.
such a
It's-
solid team. I understand them.
Look at Liverpool and the way they're playing. 5 games, 5 wins.
And
they are all
the way
over
we
Man
played
City
them,
and
like
harassing them.
us playing Liverpool is always embarrassing, mate. Like it's just.
But
But anyway,
Liverpool,
I want to move on because it's
they're
always
playing
at the hour
so
mark.
well.
I want to briefly get your thoughts on the 3 games we have at hand. So 3 games against Liverpool, Spurs, and Chelsea, right?
Oh yes, first
So-
Chelsea.
What do you feel is a good outcome from these games? So out of a possible 9 points, what's a positive outcome from that? But what are you actually expecting us to get? Let's start with you, Nitesh.
I think
He probably
you can
expects
say
to win
the-
all games.
no, the successful outcome, in my opinion, is not letting Chelsea and probably even Spurs get something out of that game. Like, even if it is a draw, that works for us, because at the end of the day, Spurs are part of the, you can say, the competition for the top 4, even though they are a bit lower right now, but they will eventually get there. And the other one is Manchester United, but anyways, they're not into the conversation right now, I guess. So the thing is, Chelsea, again, if we are able to draw with Chelsea, Chelsea is having some major issues right now. So we should be able to at least steal a point against Chelsea as well. And if Chelsea loses some of their form along the way, they could fall down as well. It could so be a case if their problems keep stacking up and some of their players are like unsure about their futures, things could go haywire for them. So that could even mean, and if there is by chance a point deduction, which is being also talked about. So what could even further happen is that we could end up being even third. So, okay, I thought everyone went on mute when Steven went on mute. Yeah. So the other thing is, so right now there is, he doesn't know he's on mute.
No, he doesn't.
Anyways,
Go ahead.
Right now-
your mads were making a bunch of noise, mate. That's why I muted you. Whatever you were opening there, like whatever you were.
There was a lot of background noise. Yeah.
Sorry, man.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Go ahead.
yeah. So the thing is, first, definitely we need to prevent from winning. If we win the game, that's great. And again, Chelsea, there could be a downfall on the cards based on what's happening with them as a club. So if we get more out of it as well, that works in favor of us as well. Liverpool is the one game I think that even if we win the game, Man City are the title holders again. They
Okay.
retain.
Yeah.
If we don't win the game, then I think it doesn't matter to us in that sense, because Liverpool is a game that we are expected to lose. And even in our Arteta's calculations or our team's calculations, they must have thought that probably the chances of us getting something out of this game is very low. But other 2 games, we should try to win or at least get a draw. So that must be the calculation that they must also be doing right now, with top four being the focus. That is their primary focus at the moment.
So like you're saying 4 is a good amount of points there. So winning against one of Chelsea and Tottenham and drawing against the other one,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And
Four is a good.
do you think we're gonna pull that off?
Yeah, I think so. That is why I'm saying four. Otherwise, then if it was me, between me and Steven, we are getting 9 points.
Mel, same question.
Um,
What are you expecting, and what do you think would be a good outcome if
I
you're not the
also
same thing?
agree that my expectation would be to beat Chelsea, the situation that they're in, and the lack of attacking threat that they have in front of goal. I think our attackers can do better, personally, especially right now, given the situation that Chelsea is under and the scrutiny.
Mhm.
Games that I expect to win would be Tottenham and Chelsea. I think Liverpool, no other team than Man City right now can comfortably say that we can give Liverpool a run for their money or a proper challenge. And um, the Liverpool game, I think, at the start of the season, any season in particular, I would say, I wouldn't expect us to get a draw or to win that. But if we draw or if we win that, I think that sets us up well for, getting closer to that top 4 spot and, keeping Man United behind us in terms of points.
Oh, if we beat Liverpool, we're getting top 4. Like
Yeah.
I'll be at 100%. I'll be like, yes, we're going to Champions League football next season. However, I don't think we're beating them.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
I'm sort of
very
a
strong.
before I go to Steven, I'm just quickly gonna say that I'm a mixture of both of you. I feel like we're gonna get 4 points, but I want 6. That's what I would be happy with. Exactly what Mel said, beating Spurs and Chelsea. I feel like we can do it. They have slightly better squads than us, but because of the whole situation, because of the way we're playing, I feel like we can do it. Steven, to wrap up with you.
Drawing with Spurs, no. Win. Don't care. Spurs, I want to win. I want to win. I don't care. This is given. There's no drawing. No. If we
I
draw,
like the
if we draw,
caveman approach in the beginning of the sentence. Did you catch that? Drawing, Spurs, no, bad. Win, yes.
Do you know why? Because, like, I'll give you a famous comment. And it comes from Thierry Henry. I know Arteta in his love, I hate him right now. Oh yeah,
Don't
celebrating a
generalize
draw.
me.
Oh no, I'm just saying, celebrating a draw. What a shit mentality. Oh yeah, he said that about Tottenham when we won the league. So, because they were celebrating a draw. They had a draw against us. So no, I want to beat them. If I'm not beating them, I'm not happy. So that should be 3 points. Chelsea. I don't think the situation. I think Tuchel won't let the situation affect them in the way that people might expect it to. So it's still gonna be a tough game, either way. So I think it's not down to the fact of the situation I'm in. It's down to the fact of even they've not been consistent, to be honest. So we could nick a point if we catch them on a bad day, which in the some teams nearly did in the FA Cup. Look, I know they struggled there. So yeah, so I think if we can get a point there, then yeah, that's fine. But like, even if we don't beat Liverpool and don't beat Chelsea and we lose to both of them, Spurs, I don't care. It's a win. It's a win. I don't have this draw crap.
So you're expecting 3 points, and you think
No, because when
that's
it
okay.
comes, because when it comes to the North London derby, what's going on in top 4 and everything like that comes out the window. Like for me, right? I'm focused on that game.
No, I
And
understood
all I wanna
that you.
It's all I want to do is beat Spurs.
I understood that you expect 3 points from the Spurs game, but from these 9 possible points, you're expecting 3, and you think that's fine because like you feel like Chelsea and Liverpool
Yes,
there
because Man United are.
way behind.
just get the way the consistency is.
Yeah.
They're crap. Tottenham.
That makes sense.
What makes Tottenham think they're our rivals? They're crap. Honestly. I could go out on the football pitch and
Geography makes them think that. That's it.
play
I've always
better.
said
I
that.
could go on the football pitch and make them play better. And I could play better. And I've just done a 6-hour stream, for God's sake. Mate, so what makes us think that they're in a race?
Sure.
Because at the moment, they're falling apart.
Right.
Now,
Guys.
Really, Spurs are doing okay. Just one thing: Spurs are doing fairly well with the introduction of I forgot the
Kulusevski.
pronunciation. Kulusevski.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's added another dimension apart from Kane and Son to their play. The only two reasons that one thing that Steven and Melina and you will also agree, Spurs and Chelsea are away games, and if we draw against Spurs, probably Spurs fall down the race, and I think their chances of finishing are more or less done. With Manchester United, we have 2 games in hand, and their consistency again is doubtful. With Spurs, you don't know what to expect. One week they'll go and beat Everton final, the other week they end up losing to Burnley. So, which Spurs shows up is also a different side of things. I know as an Arsenal fan, we want to beat them, but even a draw would be a smart result at this point of time.
no.
That's fair enough. Guys, I thought this was going to be a half-hour stream. As always, it went way over that. I apologize, Miss Mel. I apologize, Steven. I know you're both dead. Natasha's got to be tired too. It's okay. Now I know the math. Give me 1 second. So it's 11:25 in England. So that makes it 4:55 for you a.m. That's really late. Okay. Guys, that was it. So I'm going to give all of you the room to shout out your socials, starting with you, BTP. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you guys, thanks for having me on, and you can find me making Steven say Arteta in a season or two. Don't worry about it; it will happen. And apart from that, you can check Beyond the Post out on Twitter, YouTube as well. We'll be resuming some of the streams. Sam Greenwood and Sankalp are going to fight it out for the a stream about referees and stuff. So that will probably be happening soon as well. And apart from that, you can check out the Arsenal FC fans page on Facebook as well. So big up to all you guys. Great stream with regards to the charity one and this as well. And hope to join you guys on more streams in the upcoming future as well.
For sure, man. Love you to bits. Thank you so much for coming, as always. You're like one of the best human beings on this planet. Just fantastic person. I want to thank you
this is
so
too
much.
This is way too much.
Not
praise.
just for being on this stream, but for being in our lives.
Charlie, I
for,
think you mistaken me for the manager, the gaffer.
Don't say this. Steven's not gonna like you anymore, and he has so many reasons to like you. But
no,
honestly,
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody, for the stream today, and also for the charity stream. Thank you, Marley, for taking part in the chat. Most importantly, do subscribe to Football United TV as they're working their way for 1,000 subscribers. Check out their FIDA show. It's a really good show on Latin American football, but it also talks about North America. We did do an episode on Toronto FC, so do check that out. I believe it was from last week, if I'm not mistaken.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Wow, time flies. But if you guys want to check out my content, I do Arsenal and FPL related content. And you can find me on Miss Melina on YouTube and Miss Melina7 on Twitter. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Mel. Thank you, as always. And by the way, the FITA show, we had one yesterday as well, last night.
I watched it on playback.
Awesome. So about the western side of the MLS, that was really fun as well. And one of my best friends, I love you, dude. I love you. I don't know why, but I do. And thank you once again for being here. Thank you for letting me be on that stream. I had a blast, not only when I was actually streaming, but when I was on the chat as well. That was a huge moment. Just thank you for being my friend, my man.
No worries, man. You can find me on SVT TV. You can find me now Winding Mill and Nitish up, right? Especially when we get to next season, we realise we're not going anywhere. I'd love to see the excuses of we're playing every midweek come into play. But there you go. No, you can find us on SVT TV, doing Arsenal football content. I'm live tomorrow morning doing a watch along for the F1 on SVT F1, so make sure you check that out as well. So yeah, and that should be fun to watch tomorrow. So make sure you check us out there. But I'm gonna leave it to you because I am fucked.
All right. So yeah, that was it, guys. Stay tuned to all the content we have coming up at Football United TV. We have a Fita show on Mexican football next week. On Steven's channel, this is probably going away eventually. Trying to schedule it for Thursday, but we'll take a look at Steven's schedule before planning it. But it's happening. It's happening. I'm gonna be bald for the next Gunner from all corners. So wait for that. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, guys, for being here still. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Support these legends around me. And where is the outro? Ciao.